About 3 days ago, myself and my colleagues we clocked 1 year as a member of the Osun State House of Assembly, and I've always maintained that every public service is a privilege, and this is why I want to use this opportunity to sincerely appreciate, especially my constituents, for trusting me with their votes, for trusting me to represent them in the Osun State House of Assembly. I do not take this for granted at all. I appreciate my party, my leaders, the members of my party. I appreciate every one of them. In the last 1 year, we've been able to touch a number of things. We've been able to make some impact. We've had different levels of social intervention, and I call them social intervention because it's just a way to just intervene and support whatever it is that the government is doing. I'm somebody that believes in education so much. I believe education is one of the major tools that we can use to end poverty in Nigeria. Poverty is on the increase, unfortunately, and education is a way out. So over the last 1 year, presently now I have more than 70 students on my scholarship from my constituency. A number of them that are various levels of challenges. You see, out of school children is on the increase, especially in this part of Nigeria, and we have to do everything possible to make sure this is reduced to the barest minimum. And this was a motivating factor for me. This was why we started the out of school children initiative, and we have more than 70 of them, from their school bag, from everything they need at least to help them get back to school is what we are doing. And also recently we also sponsored some students, on the payment of their NECO fee, SSC. Unfortunately, many of them could not afford this fee, and if they did not pass that exam or go for that exam, they won't be able to go into higher institution. And so we, by stepping in to pay this necessary fee, was a huge support even for them and even also for their parents. So education is one of the ways that we have strived to make impact. Also, citizen empowerment is one of the areas I also love so much, because government is formed by the people, and without the empowerment of the people, we won't have a very good government. And so in terms of, for instance, we have some people in our constituency that they've learned one or two things in terms of their trade, and unfortunately they could not afford to get themselves established. Some of them need as small as few thousands of dollars to get themselves established, and but because they could not afford this, so we've set out to also help people in this regard. Not on a big scale yet. We're going to do that one very soon. And a very typical example that comes to my mind right now is a young woman, that I met during the campaign, while we were campaigning, and she just approached me, and all she wanted was for me to get. She has learned how to make hair, and she wanted to get established in that trade. She told me all she wanted was just that hair dryer. And shortly after we won the election, after we were sworn in, I reached out to her, and I just made up my mind that I was going to give her more than what she asked for. She asked for a hair dryer, so I asked the person that trained her to give me a list of everything that she will be needing to get herself established. They gave me the list, and I bought everything on that list except the towel that was written there. So I presented those things to her, and I did the presentation on the day they were having the Association of Barbers and Hairdryers. They have a time that they have their meeting. I went there. Okay, let me also mention that this particular woman I'm talking about has a challenge, and because she's living with disability, she could not speak nor hear, and this was why I was so impressed, about her situation and condition. For her not to resort to begging, for her not to resort to prostitution, to make up her mind that she wants to go and learn something, that was a big inspiration for me. So that was why I reached out about her. So I went to the place where they were having their meeting. I did the presentation, and I requested that day that they should please allow her. In this part of the world, there's something we call freedom. I told them they should allow it. So I was made to understand that there are some basic required fee that she would need before she will be allowed to go. And I asked for the fee, and it was something, I paid the fee, summarily. And that day she was giving her freedom, and we also got a shop for her, about to pay the rent fee for the shop. So that's citizen empowerment, and we've done a pocket of this in my constituency. Let me also share the story of one of the pupils under my education scholarship. One of those days, shortly after election also, I was just among my people. We were at the bus stop where the Okada riders, where we were just, having a nice time together. I was just, so I just saw a young man came in, and he was selling something. He was selling a locally made soap, and he was also, asking me to buy, asking everybody to buy. So it came to my mind that I checked the time. Now, this young man was supposed to be in school at this particular time, and I asked him why he was not in school, and he shared a very challenging story with me. So what I did that day was, first of all, to buy everything he was selling, and I asked one of my team members to take him to school. And today he's in JSS2. I hope I'm correct on that. He's back in school. So these are ways that we are using to empower our citizens. Now, there's something that we've also done in terms of food support, because, like I said, poverty is on the increase. The economic hardship, so to say. So my wife anchors this one, the program. It's just a way to support the vulnerable among us. So she anchors this month in, month out, food support to the vulnerable ones among us. It's also part of the social intervention as a member of the Osun State of Assembly that we have been doing. And let me go to my core duty, even as a lawmaker. My core duty is lawmaking, representation, having oversight, and the likes. I've been privileged, like I said, 1 year in office, and I've endeavored to give my people quality representation, to make sure the voice of my people are heard. There are times that my constituents, the leadership, maybe the kings, they make requests, and I try as much as possible to present this to the central government, for results to be given. And this we've achieved, for instance, the number of road intervention has been done in my constituency, and we're also still asking for more. We've discussed with the governor, we've discussed with the leadership of the state, and they've assured us that they're saying will give us more road intervention. So in terms of representation, we've tried as much as possible to make sure the voice of the people of Obokun State constituency is heard, and heard loudly. And also in terms of lawmaking, the core duties that we do in the House of Assembly is to make laws, to make policies for the government to follow. I've submitted a number of bills. One of them is the Community Social Responsibility Bill, the Local Content Bill, and the recent one that has just been passed, which will be assented to by the governor, is the Disability Protection Bill. That bill seeks to make sure the interests of people with disabilities are protected and they are not discriminated against. A very, very inspiring bill for me personally. And the story of how this started was when I was in my first term in the House of Assembly. A young man was sent to me, and unfortunately this young man has a challenge with the eyes, and all he wanted for me was a job, and I found it very difficult to get him a job at that time. So that was what inspired me. I later found out that we even have that act at the federal level already, so it was easy for us to just bring it down here. And this was what inspired, the bill. And I thank God today that it has been passed to law. So that is summarily part of, in terms of lawmaking, making laws that we've also done. And I belong to a number of house committees, so we've went on different oversight, with our people. And let me also say this: if you are representing without giving a feedback, without engagement, you are not really representing. So I've been engaging in the different levels of constituency engagement with my people. There's one that I meet with my party. Not only that, there are times I go to different palaces. I have about 20 thereabout palaces, in my constituency with kings. So I visit them to give them a feedback of what we're doing, one-on-one engagement and different levels, that we engage. Also, we also do that online also, because the world is expanding with technologies. We also engage online. I'm also always available almost on almost every social media network. So in terms of representation, in terms of giving back, in terms of engaging our people, we've also done something in that regards. Now, let me just try to summarize this. We have serious plans for our constituency. Now, we've just spent 1 year. We've been able to tick some boxes, but I can assure you we still have many more boxes to be ticked. and we're not giving up regardless, because representation is a privilege. So this privilege you've given me, I made up my mind that I was going to utilize it very, very well. I've not even spoken about the women empowerment, youth and women empowerment that we've done. I so much believe in women. We need more of them to be represented in government. So I have a group of women under the Recondol Ladies for Good Governance. We are supporting them, to want to use them to make a statement that the women also can, they have a very huge role to play, and they can be of good impact, in the society. So that's part of what we've also done. And let me also say this, so within the last 1 year, we launched the New Gen Leader. That's a platform to mentor youths, especially youths, on leadership, especially in politics and governance, because no matter what, we've been able to learn one or two things. So we should be able to teach those coming behind us, especially, like I said, in terms of politics and governance, so that we'll be able to leave, the platform for people to excel better, to do better than what we have done. I believe in a better Nigeria. I believe we can achieve a better Nigeria. That was one of the motivating factors for establishing that platform for the youth. We've also been able to recommend a number of our constituents for different levels of employment, part-time and full-time. We've given recommendations, for my constituents that need it. Recommendations at different levels, people having constituent issues with the civil service. Some of them having issues with their gratuity, pensions, and the like. We've intervened in that area. We've given recommendation, for admission, especially for our young ones. So a number of that we have done, because this is representation. I am their representative, and I owe them a debt of representing them effectively. And normally those are the ones that can come to my mind right now. I know we've done quite a number of things, and that cannot be accommodated in this few minutes video, but I want to sincerely appreciate my people once again for giving me this trust, for giving me this privilege, for giving me this opportunity to represent you at the Osun State House of Assembly. I do not take it for granted, and I sincerely appreciate the governor for his support to the parliament. I appreciate the Speaker of the Osun State House of Assembly and other colleagues, for their support. And let me also appreciate the governor again for his infrastructural development across the state. I'm a member of the House Committee on Works. We go on oversight a number of times, and I see what the governor is doing. Thank you very much, the people of Obokun State constituency, everybody. I also appreciate my political party, the People's Democratic Party, for this opportunity from the federal level to the state level. I appreciate our chairman, every state working committee member, and every state executive council. I appreciate you. I appreciate my party at the local level, from the chairman to the leaders of the party, everybody. Thank you very much. I appreciate everyone, every political party, every king, the market women, the Okada riders, everyone. I appreciate you. We have programs. More of citizen empowerment is what we're still going to focus on as we begin the second year. In the Osun State House of Assembly, we focus more on citizen empowerment. We still have a number of bills, number of laws that we're still going to sponsor at the floor of the house. Many, many things. So this second year that will begin will even be greater and better than the previous years. Once again, I appreciate you. Thank you very much.